YouTube, it's Brad Phillips. Look what we've got here. We're gonna unbox this thing right now. The Dancing Wings Stick 14. Excited to do this thing. A little bit nervous about the Dancing Wings part because they have historically been tough builds. And we've had 2 of the 3 fly pretty amazing. And so we're hoping that this one is not only easier on the build, but also a very good flying plane. So we'll see. This is a big box. Big box is usually a good sign when it comes to buildability because it means more of the work is going to be done for us, we hope. But we'll see. So stay tuned, follow along with us, buy the things from the links, help support us. Put that in the backdrop. We're going to use an AR8360T, which is a little bit more than you would need for this plane. But what I want to do with it is going to be cool because I want to have independent control of the wing surfaces, and that's going to give us the ability to do full crow and flaps and all that stuff because this does have flaps and ailerons, of course. And so if we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the wing, plus elevator, plus rudder, plus throttle, that gives us the additional channel for AS3X, safe control. We're gonna see how it works. Also, we'll have some feedback for telemetry on the pack voltage, which is always important on planes that can be flown in a 3D manner. Why is that not open? Oh, it's glued. There's a divider that's glued in there. Okay, so this is the packaging, guys. Let's take a quick look at that. It's glued. I don't know if I opened the wrong side or something. No, it's the side that's taped, but then they glued this in. That's very strange. Very good packaging. It's super sturdy. Let's start with the wings. I assume that's the wings. Ooh, nice color. Beautiful. Feel how light that is. That's both wings.
Oh my gosh.
There's like, here, do it. So put your hand out. Do you see that?
That's crazy.
That's insane. There's like nothing to it. So this, of course, is a balsa wood plane. As we've seen from most of the Dancing Wings we've done one little foam Dancing Wings, but the PT-17, one of the nicest planes we have, was one of the hardest to build, longest builds we've ever done too. But that is insane how light that is. That thing weighs like nothing. We are gonna weigh it because this thing is so light, it's incredible. All right, we're getting the kitchen scale out. All right, so let's turn this sucker on here. Now, granted, this is an empty wing, but we're at 0 grams. Check this out, guys. That's 186 grams for this whole thing. That's insane. Amazing. All right, cool. So continuing onward, let's open up the other one just to make sure there's no damage. The film is beautiful on it. Not even a little teeny tiny issue. There's a string in there to pull wires through, which is really nice. Show the people that real quick. See the string? Okay, carbon fiber insert there. Everything's pre-cut here. Beautiful. Let's show them, see if we can get a, oh yeah, see that, guys? For the balsa wood build. Very, very strong, 0 flex, but very, very light. That is incredible. I like the way the decals look too. They did a really nice job on that. 0 bubbles. No problems. Holes are routed right through clean. Nice tight joints. Everything sticks. I don't see any breaks underneath. I could never get my film to look that good, guys. I gotta admit. I've tried before and I can't make it look even remotely good, let alone very good. So far, pretty impressive. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean the build's gonna be impressive because it looks like we gotta put servos in, which I'm not excited about. Okay, so as you can see here, 1.4 meter stick. These are the tools they say you need, okay? And in typical fashion from Dancing Wings, we've got some strange pages. I don't understand why that is, but there are instructions, so we're gonna go ahead and get the pieces out. This is the part where we decide whether or not this is gonna be a terrible 17-hour build or not. Okay, so we've got to Feels like wing joiners, probably some control rods maybe. I think they put them all together. See this? Stuffed in there. They've even got that tapered, which is nice. Yep, that's all of our rods, control rods. Everything's taped together, pretty simple stuff. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. Okay. Always double check your packaging because the packaging sometimes on these planes can be a little bit deceiving. You will lose parts if you're not careful. Just because they sneak stuff in places where you might not expect it. This isn't a biplane and there aren't a bunch of controls, excessive amounts of controls and things, so I think the build should still be reasonable on this one. Gosh, there's a lot of tape on this. Okay, so we'll just do it like that. Okay. Pre-glued, thank God.
Nice.
One step we don't have to do. And look, they have marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alignment marks, that's always good. Okay, so these are the elevators. So the horizontal stab and the elevator looks like it's gonna go like this. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So we'll slay that down. There we go. All right, and then just make sure you shake the foam. There's no screw packs or bolt sacks or anything like that in there. I'm just gonna make a pile here on the ground and we'll come back to that later. So as we usually do it on Brian Phillips RC, we try to show the entire build process where possible. If this one devolves into a humongous lengthy build, we may not necessarily do that. This is not glued. That is fully assembled. Of course, that's the rudder and then the horizontal or the vertical stabilizer in this case. Looks pretty good. CA hinges. Okay, so that should be pretty straightforward. Extremely light, very flat, very straight. Let's show the people that, in fact. Very, very flat. No teetering, no tipping. That's on a granite surface there. That is hard to do. That means the covering was applied right. That means everything was glued together well. Okay, and then this is what they use to protect everything, is this bubble wrap. So it comes like this. Okay. So if you've got a tight space, it's nice because you can collapse this stuff down after you've had a chance to build everything, and then it just goes in the garbage can. We're just making a pile for now. As opposed to foam. We don't really have a problem with foam. I just assume foam myself. Okay, that's the fuse. Extremely light. Extremely light. That is awesome. Not gonna be light when you put all the motor and ESC and everything in there, but it is extremely light now. Ooh, worst covering film we've seen so far. Can probably be tightened with a little heat. Okay. Feels very solid. There's the holes. I wonder if that screws on. Ooh. So pop this up. Yeah, it looks like we've just got that couple magnets here to hold that canopy, or not canopy, but the hatch access. This will probably need to be heated up and cinched down just so it'll shrink down. Wonder if we could do it on the stove. I bet we could. Okay, so we'll just keep working our way through the box. Obviously, there's just a lot of different packages, but this is actually, in terms of piece count, it's one of the lowest piece count we've had for dancing wings. And this is one of the reasons why some people like this type of packaging, is because you can eliminate all of it really quick and you can put it in the garbage can, which is nice. I personally don't really care as long as it gets here in one piece. It's not a big deal to me one way or the other. But I know you guys are curious if you're gonna get your thing your airplane in one piece. This is a 12/6 counterclockwise rotation, APC style prop. Looks like this has to be Aero, happens to be, is it Aero C? I don't know.
I don't know.
As usual, the Chinese have screwed up the vernacular just enough so that it's not readable. Okay, pull this out. Got the landing gear mounts. Okay, so let's pull this all off. Well protected here. See how this goes. Every piece has been completely wrapped, which is nice. Definitely attention to detail that you don't see on every plane. Look at this. Aluminum, looks good. Let's see how it flexes here in a second. I want to see if all that paint flecks off or if it's going to stay on there. Nice glossy finish to it. Oh yeah, it's got some strength to it. It's not, you know, without a little bit of movement, which is what I want. I want some flex, but it's stout. Stout with some flexibility, that's what I want. Okay, so I don't know what this is. This looks like some sort of a, yeah, control surfaces. Okay. So these are the ailerons. Okay, so let's see how this looks. So we've got, all right, that looks pretty good. There's like nothing there. It feels like no weight at all. That's really cool. CA hinges. Got a lot of capillary effect, pulled that glue out already. Okay, so there's one. A little bit of flex, but I mean, honestly, it's still very strong. I don't understand the label. I don't know if that means that's to a certain model. Don't like that. This is fine. This one's probably okay. That one's gonna be a problem, I bet. Okay. And then the rest looks pretty good. A little bit of scratches on there. Real light, real light. I mean, I couldn't do it this nice, that's for sure. Okay, so ailerons or flaps, I'm not sure which ones those are. And then that's empty. Double check every time, guys, or you will miss stuff, I promise you. Okay, so the bag. This is the bag that we always cringe about because it's got millions of things in it. And then this here looks like the wheel pants, probably. I don't know what this is. Why is this here? That's just what went underneath that. Here, so let's cut this free and see if we can figure out what's going on. Wheel pants look nice. Okay. Nice fiberglass. Beautiful finish, really clean cut edges. Strong, sturdy, no holes drilled. That's gonna suck. Okay, same thing here. Absolutely gorgeous. Really solid, really strong. One of the heaviest components I've felt on this plane so far, by the way. Other than the electronics, of course. The motors and all that stuff are gonna be pretty heavy, no doubt. Okay, so let's untape all this bag of goodies. Dancing Wings, if you're listening, this is an R Plus, right? Yeah, I think is what they call it, R Plus. It's like a plug and fly, but it's not a plug and fly. You pretty much put the whole thing together. We've always been happy with the quality of the equipment they've sent. We've had a few that missed some screws here and there, and of course that's frustrating, but nothing that RTL Fasteners can't help you fix, which we have links to that. And by the way, if you guys are new to the channel, you're just joining us. We've been doing this for about 7 years. My wife and I. Megan is the camera crew, and she helps me to do all this footage, so she's very good at what she does. And then of course I, unbox. I'm in front of the camera. She doesn't like to be on camera all the time. Okay, so it looks like landing gear there. A couple carbon fiber rods. Looks like some Velcro for battery. Something for the wing joiner probably. A couple main landing gear wheels. Okay, very thin plastic on that. Don't even need to open it. Super, super light. Ooh, somewhat squishy. Not squishy. They're 2.75 inch. I do like that they're very light. That's nice. Looks like it's gonna be a pretty good fit in there. But anyway, if you guys are curious on how you can support us, just check the links in the video description below. If you like the planes we're reviewing, buy from those links. You'll support us in that way. Looks like that might be some rust. Ugh. No, might be grease. Might be grease, might be rust. Not sure. Either way, probably not a big deal. It's the tail dragger. And then we got some long bolts there. I don't know what those are for. Looks like a motor mount to me, but dang, that's a small motor mount. I can't hardly imagine that being a motor mount. It's gotta be something else. I don't know what this is. Can you imagine that being the motor mount?
It does seem small.
And then a bunch of control horns. Okay, it looks pretty straightforward stuff. Looks like standard quality. I'd call that like a mid-grade, you know, control horn. Nothing super fancy, nothing super crappy. Okay, and then as we continue through the build, I'm gonna open this. Let's just open this up. This is an unbox after all. Okay, so that's your landing gear for the tail wheel. Looks pretty straightforward. Whew, a little bit of squishiness to it. It's always nice. And then this goes on, and then of course there's the wheel collar that will tighten down. Back off that set screw just a hair, so that'll get tightened. Then that'll go into the rudder, and then some screws to mount it. Probably be a little bit wise to just actually put that back in there so we don't lose that kit, even though we've shown what it's all about now. Okay, so then this is the mother load. So this is where the electronics are, and this is what you have to install. Okay, so let's see how bad this looks. We got the ESC, it looks pretty straightforward. We've used these before. The best ESC so far in China. Only in China would you put so far in China. So anyway, good ESCs. We haven't had a problem with them. They're the best so far in China. Whatever that means. So let's see what this looks like. I cut through the paperwork. Oops. Be careful when you open this, because there is information in here about programming this ESC almost certainly. I'll go in there. I'm gonna try sliding this down, see if I can cut it again so I don't lose any more. Usually kind of careful about stuff like this, but for whatever reason today I got through that paperwork, dang it. Okay. Okay, so there we go. So it just shows you how to do this. Okay, pretty simple stuff. Pretty standard ESC stuff. Looks like 60 amp S-back, 2 through 6 LiPo, or 5 through 18 nickel metal hydride. I don't know what it is. The other cell. Nobody uses those anymore. XT60, short lead, very short lead. Long programming / control lead here. That's pretty good. And then very short leads to the motor. That's not necessarily a big deal one way or the other. Usually it's not a big deal. Okay, so we'll just lay that aside. Looks like we got a bunch of Y cables. We won't be using as many Y cables in our configuration. We got one straight cable, extension, 2 Y cables, and then another straight cable. So we'll just set those here. Looks like right here we've got a motor with the spinner and everything attached. Well, they managed to put that on there, which is strange. Okay, very small lead, 16 AUG on that. That's surprising. And looks like this motor is an MO28 17900 kV. Big motor. Doesn't seem especially big for this plane, but we'll see. I suspect it's going to be crazy powerful. And everything is pre-soldered here on the motor, which is nice tight fit. That's always good on those banana jacks. Sometimes you get them and they're loose, and that's not always very fun to deal with. All right, so we have good quality Metal Gear servos, it looks like. Probably like a 13 gram. It might be a little bigger than that, actually. It might be like a 20 gram servo. Come with big heavy duty control horns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay, so that's good. We'll go into that a little bit more in detail when we get to the servos. Motor mount here, looks pretty straightforward. Feels like aluminum. Comes with screws and hardware. We'll put that with that. And that's all the bags and all the packages. We have an empty box, folks. That's everything from the box. Okay, so next step, we're gonna pause, clean up stuff, and then we're gonna get this laid out and start the build.